Good morning, students. Today we'll continue with the topic of reproduction. That is, we have categorized into two. Reproduction is of two types, asexual and sexual. So today we'll go in detail with the topic sexual reproduction. Just recall the points. Even here I've given in details. It is biparental, meaning to say involvement of two parents, two organisms of opposite sex, male and female. So there are two parents. So presence of gamete formation occurs by the same individual. So when I say gamete formation is seen in same individual, what does that same individual mean? A term called hermaphrodite. That means hermaphrodite, it is an organism which has both male and female sex organs. When I say different, now the gamete formation is observed in different individuals. When I say different, there is separate male body, there is separate female body. Okay, I hope it is clear. Now, yes, it looks like here it is by uniparental, but do not worry. During the mating, there is the other organism coming into your mating period. So that's why we are saying it is biparental. Two organisms are needed here. Okay, so that you will understand clearly later on. Okay, so in this process of sexual reproduction, you will find the gametes will fuse, then form the zygote, then later develops into a new organism. So this process is elaborate. You can find the stepwise process: fusion of gametes, zygote development, then development of the whole organism. And it is complex. Why it is complex? It is not like your how in the previous asexual reproduction you saw there is cell division, there is sporulation. It is not that easy process. It's within 24 hours. Okay, whereas in sexual reproduction it is complex and it is a long procedure. It is having various steps. So how the gamete is formed, how the gamete has to meet each other. So you will be understanding about the events of sexual reproduction in the coming topics. So that is why we call it as complex process. And the process is also slow. It is not within one day. It's a very long duration. Then only the new offspring can be formed. The new offsprings are not identical to their parents. Why it is not identical? You will find it here. They are genetically different, morphologically similar. Now, when we say morphologically similar, we say about the head that you have. There are all the organs which you have. There is stomach. There are all those organs. You have your hand. You have your legs. All these are your morphological, that is external features. Genetical, we are talking about DNA level. The recombination occurring in meiosis, exchange of genes leading to a new variety. So that's why we are saying offsprings are genetically different and morphologically similar. Okay, so even in the patterns you can find pattern of reproduction, it is similar. Why it is similar? Just observe here. All the animals who are sexually reproducing, they can fuse the gametes, they can form zygote, and they develop into a new organism. This is the same process or same pattern of reproduction. I hope it is clear now. That's why it's given common process for all animals. So this is only in sexual reproducing organisms. There are three phases: juvenile phase, or we say growth period; reproductive phase, or we can say the phase of maturity; and then there is senescence stage, where we say the physiological activities slow down, so that is your old age, and ultimately leads to death. So the question comes here, why it is phases of sexual reproduction? It is, you can rectify here, it is phases of sexually reproducing organisms. Okay, please rectify that. Sexually reproducing organisms. So there are three phases in a person, in an organism. So the first period or first phase is the growth period. Then second, they will mature and then start reproducing. Then there is your old age, there is death. So remember these three phases. For 3 mark question it can be asked. let us go in detail with this particular phase. Okay, we are only dealing with reproduction right now, so we'll go in detail with the reproductive phase in the sexually reproducing organisms. So reproductive phase, since it is mature, the sex organs are mature and start reproducing, we call it as active reproduction. Okay, so in plants, the reproductive phase can be called as your flowering period. So there is your two types. There is your seasonal flowering. There is also the flowering throughout the year. So seasonal, when I say, only during favorable conditions, throughout, any time during the year. So there is, you might have noticed when I say seasonal, one season there is, that is in first few months there is flowering, then the next few months there is no flowering, and the next season, that is the next 3 months, again flowering occurs. So there is a gap between the two flowering periods. So it is called as your interflowering period. Okay, so that interflowering period, which is a gap, it is not having any reproduction phase over there. So such phase is called as vegetative phase. And vegetative phase, again, if you go and recall back, it is the growth period in plants. Okay, so it's clear now. 1 mark question, what is interflowering period? It is the vegetative phase. Based on the flowering season, we have classified plants into annual, biennial and perennial. Perennial I have just included, it is only for the point of CET and NEET, whereas in your textbook they have not included. So we will go in details. Annual, the term only says in a year. So annual means in a year. Biennial, twice in a year. So annual, example rice plants, you can see their lifespan, if you recall, it's only 3 to 7 months. So within their lifespan, they are flowering only once. So within the year, they are flowered only once. So rice, again, rice plants, they have a only favorable season again here. Coming to the biennial plants, 2 times in a year they can flower. Your mango tree, you might have seen, you get mangoes twice in a year. So the seasons are there. We say mango season here. So this is how we are just classifying. Perennial, imagine you have your hibiscus plant and you just recall, not imagine, just recall it. You definitely might have noticed it gives throughout the whole year. The flowers are throughout the year given. Okay, even the coconuts are already, you can find every day, throughout the year they are present. So this is why perennial, they don't have any gap in their flowering season. So throughout the year they are producing flowers, producing the fruits. So I hope it is clear with the annual and biennial. Perennial, it is only for your CET point of view. Now there is also a unique action occurring in plants. So the unique flowering period, which we call it as unusual phenomenon, occurring in plants. So let us see what are those unusual phenomenon. Let us take the first example, that is bamboo. It flowers once in its lifetime. So please note, once in its lifetime could have come under annual, since annual means within 1 year. Here bamboo, the lifetime is 60 years, once in 60 years. That's why they have not placed under annual plants. They are unusual phenomenon. Similarly, grass. Grass I've just included here, they are not unusual phenomenon. But this question can be asked. Name the plant which flowers once in their lifetime. So you can include bamboo or grass. But most preferably we choose bamboo as the answer. Then the third type I've written here. This is an important question asked on this. Strobilanthes kuntiana. It is a scientific name of Neela Kuranji, which flowers once in 12 years. Remember this number, once in 12 years. So the question can be asked, name the plant which flowers once in 12 years. Give the scientific name of Neela Kuranji. So the answer is Strobilanthes kuntiana. So you can just observe the picture, how the females and the male flowers are observed on the bamboo plant. This is how the Neela this is actually how you can say a hill with, a blue hill. In usually we say Kannada Nilgiri. You might have heard that Nilgiri as your for eucalyptus they call. It is for eucalyptus we say Nilgiri oil itself. But this is the hill we are saying Nilgiri. The hills are blue. So you can observe even the flowers. Now we'll go in detail in animals how the reproduction phase is. So you have to know, in animals, before they enter into the reproductive phase, they undergo morphological and physiological changes. Morphological, you can say the presence or the development of mammary glands, development of sex organs. Then the physiological, you can find the secondary sexual characters. There is changes in the the voice. Is male is coarse voice, and presence of development of pubic hair. All this is all linked to your other secondary sexual characters. So physiological changes, morphological changes you can observe. Okay, and when I say physiological, we are talking about the body functions. So now there is neural coordination between the brain, between the other organs with the sex organs. So that is why we are saying physiological changes. Your especially hormones are involved there. So this occurs prior to active reproduction. That is soon after juvenile phase. It undergoes these changes and then enter reproductive phase. Then enter. So here I'll repeat again. Soon after juvenile phase, they follow all these morphological and physiological changes and then enter into active reproduction. So the animals are categorized into two types, that is seasonal animals and non-seasonal animals. So reproductive phase is categorized into two ways, seasonal and non-seasonal animals. So first we'll deal with the seasonal animals. You can find here they are only reproducing during favorable condition. So the examples are lizard, frogs and birds. When I say birds, there's one exception. You know about your poultry, the broilers, which is actually a hybrid. These broilers are continuously producing the egg. So they are injected with certain hormones, so they are continuously producing unfertilized eggs. If you all notice the egg white in color, and in certain shops you will find brown color egg, which is little costlier. So the brown color egg is the fertilized ones. White color are unfertilized. Okay, they are not fertilized actually. So these brown eggs, which is costlier and fertilized, if you keep them in the incubator, after 21 days you will find a chick coming out of it. So these broilers are not fertile. These are sterile birds. So these are only induced to lay eggs throughout the year, which is unfertilized eggs. They don't produce into small chicks there. Okay, we'll go to the next one, that is non-seasonal animals. This particular definition, which tells about reproductive cycles. Don't worry, the terms are seeming to be a little complicated to you, which you will understand clearly in the chapter human reproduction. So here, just observe the sentences, and this is an important definition also. So when I say non-seasonal, they are producing throughout the year. So females of placental mammals, when I say placental mammals, mammals which actually bear the young ones in their womb and nourish the young ones through placenta. So such females are called as placental organisms. So females usually bear placenta. So they exhibit the cyclic changes in the activities of ovaries and accessory ducts. So the terms activities of ovaries and accessory ducts. Accessory ducts is associated with the ovaries. Okay. So don't go much deeper over there. You have to try to memorize at present. Try to understand something out of it. Okay. So it's activities of ovaries, its accessory ducts, as well as the hormones. So there are hormones also that are playing a major role in the females, in the non-seasonal animals, or you can say non-seasonal section. So based on the reproductive cycle, we are classifying it into two types, estrus and menstrual cycle. So when I say heat stress cycle, look at the examples here. These are all the non-primates: cats, sheep, rat, dogs. So like that it goes on. These are all they undergo estrus cycle. Okay, menstrual cycle. You can see the primates. When I say primates, look at all the examples: monkeys, apes, and humans. So here estrus and the menstrual cycle, they have given a better clarity here. So when I say estrus cycle, they exhibit heat period, whereas menstrual cycle there is no heat period. So this heat period is nothing but it is a demand or an urge for sexual activity. You might have seen in dogs, cats. So if you see the examples, dogs, cats, and all, they give a particular mating sound, so where they can call the female for the mating season, during the mating season. So that is what they exhibit, the heat period. Whereas in menstrual, the primates, they undergo menstrual cycle, they don't show heat period, they don't show the urge in the sexual activity. Okay, in case of estrus cycle, there is there does not occur the bleeding, whereas in menstrual cycle bleeding occurs. Coming to the final difference, as you have come across, the animals in the reproductive phase is of two types: seasonal and non-seasonal, right? So same thing, we are just classifying further, that is the same one, into detail. That is, instead of animals, we are saying two types of breeders. So seasonal breeders and non-seasonal, meaning to say they are continuous breeders. So seasonal, animals living in wild condition. When I say wild condition, in the natural habitat, not in the laboratory. So they exhibit cycle in favorable conditions, whereas your animals living in wild conditions, in continuous breeders I'm talking about, whereas in continuous breeders, animals living in wild condition exhibit the cycle throughout the reproductive phase. So here seasonal breeders, favorable conditions, they exhibit the cycle. Continuous breeders, throughout the reproductive phase. So the reproductive phase, we have a particular period, right? If you all recall here, see, this is the reproductive phase, throughout the reproductive phase, or it can even prolong till the death. Till death they can still reproduce. So this is what they have told in the difference between seasonal and continuous breeders. So throughout the reproductive phase, seasonal, favorable. So we are done with the sexual reproduction part. So please answer these questions and then submit to my WhatsApp. Thank you.